Welcome to NHA Today, where we explore the path to lasting health and fulfillment through a whole food, plant-based lifestyle. Each week, we bring you real conversations with doctors, health experts, and everyday individuals who've transformed their lives through food, mindset, and community. This is NHA Today, powered by the National Health Association. Welcome to the NHA Today podcast. Hi, it's Chuck Carroll, the champion from the Exam Room Podcast and the Physicians Committee, guest hosting once again for a very important topic this episode. It is October, so it is extremely critical that we talk about breast cancer. We only talk about this, it seems, once a year for 1 month out of the year, but cancer does not know the calendar. Cancer operates 24/7, 365, and that's why we have to continue to bang the drum and raise awareness about what causes it, what you can do to lower your risk, regardless of what your genetic makeup actually is. And with us today is a very dear friend of mine who has her own cancer story to share, somebody who has been through cancer, not breast cancer, but has also lost a very close family member to cancer. And now through her work with the doc and chef is doing tremendous work in helping to educate everybody what she calls the secret of reducing their risk of cancer. With that, we welcome Chef Caryn Dugan from the Doc and Chef and the Center for Plant-Based Living in St. Louis. Caryn Dugan, welcome to the NHA Today podcast.
Thank you, Chuck. Thanks for having me on. It's so good to see you, my friend.
So good to see you, my friend. I love the pink sweater. That is very lovely.
Well, you too. With your pink, you're doning your pink.
I had to do it. I'm man enough to rock it, and you just make pink look good. So anyway, welcome to the show. Let's just kind of dive right in here. We mentioned your family history, not breast cancer specifically, but what forms of cancer actually run in your family, Caryn?
In 2008, I lost my dad to cancer. He had prostate cancer, which spread to his bones, spine, and then up to his brain, and then took him. The doctors gave him 5 years. He took 4.5 of that, and exactly 10 weeks after he passed away, I was diagnosed, not with prostate cancer. That's a different kind of show. I had malignant melanoma. So, hearing the C word twice, losing a parent, and then having it also within 10 weeks. So hearing that C word twice was pretty jarring. So I thought, well, after I was treated and scared nearly to death, I thought, well, I should probably figure out what the hell's going on here. And hopefully this won't take me as well. So I was on a mission, of course, as you can imagine. And I thought that I was healthy, but we now know that the lack of symptoms does not equal good health. So I started looking at other people who I thought were healthy, people who were doing yoga and who were meditating. I'm too much of a spaz for that. And so I thought, I didn't know what to do. And so I was reading these journals, these medical journals, and I discovered that a vegan diet could was showing that it could reduce the size of some tumors of cancers, that it could potentially reverse type 2 diabetes, reverse hypertension, reverse all kinds of common chronic illnesses as well. These foodborne that we now know are foodborne illnesses. And I thought, this could actually help me potentially prevent other types of cancers, and maybe even diabetes or heart disease or these common chronic illnesses. Well, that's just crazy. So in order just to check off a box, I thought, all right, I'll give this a try. And I took everything out of my kitchen that had any animal products at all. Went to the grocery store and put red things and purple things and blue things and green things in my cart, and put a lot of beans in my cart, and went to the bakery part of the grocery store and bought the big hefty, hippie loaf that you could probably prop a door open with instead of the white bread, and got home and didn't know what to do and really sucked, Chuck. Oh my God, I was the worst cook ever. I had no idea what I was doing. And so I went to a cooking class, go figure, just to get some idea of what I was doing, and loved it. And that was 2008-ish. And here we are many, many years later, and have since then opened up the nation's first and only fully plant-based nutrition and culinary education center, the Center for Plant-Based Living. It was a brick and mortar for 5 years. Now it's fully online. And then started, of course, the Doc and Chef with Dr. Jim Loomis, where we literally travel the world and spread the good word about not only a plant-based diet, but also just lifestyle medicine in general.
Yeah, and speaking of the Doc and Chef, thank you for the wonderful mug, by the way. Um, you're in Sonoma today. You're speaking at a Veg Fest with Dr. Loomis, the Doc and Chef. It's become this glorious road show. You've got all of these shows also on YouTube, and we'll drop a link to your YouTube channel and the Center for Plant-Based Living in the episode notes here. But on average, how many different tour dates are you guys doing every single year at this point? It's a lot.
Yeah, it sure is. Loving every minute of it. It's tough, but still loving it. We started the Doc and Chef. Actually, we started the Doc and Chef in it was an idea in 3 years ago now. And we were speaking separately in Midland, Texas at a medical conference. And we were at dinner with everyone and we had the side conversation. And we realized that we were getting the same questions, though he was getting them from a medical standpoint, I was getting from a culinary standpoint. Questions like, you can imagine, where do you get protein on a plant-based diet? And so Jim would then answer in a medical way, and I would answer in a culinary way. And we thought, oh, light bulb, what if we put this together and created a YouTube channel where we marry science to your nutrition, to your plate of food? So he talks about the science and I talk about what the science looks like on a plate. And so we started this YouTube channel. All episodes are topical, anywhere between 6 and 15 minutes at a time. Everything's free. He writes an evidence-based blog post after each episode so you can dive deeper. I offer the recipe. We have 35 episodes out now to date. But to get back to what your question was, what we didn't expect was to go on this, you're right, glorious road show where we literally travel the world and do live Doc and Chef shows. We've done medical conferences, we've done wellness weekends for corporations. We've presented actually at the U.S. Air Force Space Force. We've been to Eastern Europe, Moldova, and Bucharest, where we presented at the Moldovan Society of Lifestyle Medicine, and then also presented to the Romanian Parliament. It was nuts, but yes, I'm in Sonoma today. I know. And we're doing the Sonoma Veg Fest in a couple of days.
Man, I'm so proud of you because I remember when the Doc and Chef was just in its infancy, and you guys have sprouted just deliciously. I don't know how else to put it. It's really been a joy to watch you guys grow the way that you have. I'm curious, when it comes to breast cancer specifically, because that's what we're talking about here today on the podcast, how often do you all get asked about this one? Again, it shouldn't just be like that 1 month out of the year in October where we have breast cancer awareness. But again, cancer doesn't follow a calendar. Cancer is 365 days a year. So how often does this come up when you guys are giving your presentations?
Pretty often, actually, because breast cancer is so unfortunately common. And there's all different types. And you're right, Chuck, it shouldn't just be segregated to October where we start to think about it, where you start seeing pink everywhere, thankfully, but still, you're right, it should be the other 11 months of the year as well. But it's also one of those things that, and thank goodness for the good and deep work of Dr. Christy Funk as well. Thank goodness we now know that it is highly preventable, not only just to get it, but also for recurrence. Recurrence goes way down if you change out what you put on the end of your fork. And I like to say that, I don't like to say it, but it kind of still is almost a secret, right? Like it's just not mainstream. You go into any hospital, most hospitals, and after somebody gets their chemo treatment or their radiation or surgery, what's on their what's served on their plate? You know, you go into chemo rooms and what do they have there? They have cookies after you get your treatment. What the hell, you know? So I don't understand how an Oreo is going to help you prevent any type of cancer, much less breast cancer. So Jim and I really focus on, yes, lifestyle medicine and, you know, other modifications you can make, but we really focus on the nutrition.
1 in 8 women, it's estimated here in the
Yeah.
United States, will develop breast cancer over the course of their lifetime. I think it's like women are 100 times or more likely than men to develop it. And that's a heavy burden, I would imagine, as a woman to carry around, almost like there's this dark cloud that's just following you, right?
Yeah.
How has your viewpoint changed about breast cancer since you've entered this particular arena?
Um, I'm a lot more sensitive to it because I put myself there. I teach at the cancer support community, and I have since 2011 after earned my Food for Life certification from PCRM. Um, and so I am around it very often, and it's a little interesting to me that most of the classes that I teach there um, are are the audience is mostly women with breast cancer, a couple of men with breast cancer too, although we know it's not as common, but you know it still exists. So I have those women around me, those people around me very often, and even though I am more educated, and I hope that people around me are more educated, um, because I'm sharing the information. It almost scares me more because it's still around me so much. And so that actually forces me to myself eat better, but then hopefully helps. I hope the ripple effect is there as well, where people are learning more and taking control in their own homes. You know, foods like, you know, we know about sulforaphane now is high, or not just located, but is high in broccoli, the cruciferous vegetables. And we now know that allium vegetables, so that's the onions and the garlic and the leeks and the, you know, those shallots, those vegetables also um, have high cancer fighting properties if, you know, used correctly. We can talk about that if you want. So there's these cancer fighting properties in so many foods. It's just a matter of getting into the habit and going to your grocery store, your market, wherever, outstretching your hand and grabbing it. That's where the real change exists.
I agree with you 100%. And, let's talk about, before we dive deeper into diet, those non modifiable risk factors. I'm going to take this verbatim from a nice blog that Dr. Loomis created. Obviously, we already mentioned that, women are about 100 times more likely than men to develop breast cancer. Age, if you're over the age of 50, you're more
Yeah.
likely to develop breast cancer. Obviously, family history and genetics play a role. If you have a personal history of breast cancer there as well, genetic mutations, talking about the BRCA1 and BRCA2 genes, radiation. And then I did not realize this, but, if a woman begins having menstruations before the age of 12, so at a really early age, apparently that can put them at a slightly elevated risk of developing breast cancer. And so too can women who have children, their first child, especially after the age of 30. I had
30.
no idea. That is a really interesting statistic there.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, it's and the kiddos, I'm going to say kiddos because at 12 you're still a kid, right? I mean, a kid. And seeing these, and I mean, actually I just saw something on the news a few days ago, where somebody had a little girl who started their menstruation period, whatever, cycle, at 6 years old. Now I know that is, but it took me, I paused and I thought, what is this? So, but yeah, we're hearing 10, 12, 13 years now old, getting, starting their cycles. And then there's, why is that happening? Well, is it because of the IGF-1 in the milk and the dairy? Does that have anything to do with it? So it's all connected, right, Chuck? Um, that's why we're looking for more plants on your plate and trying to get away from those animal products that are going to add more hormones into these little baby bodies and jump starting the cycles probably sooner than Mother Nature really intended.
6 years old.
6 years old. That's a baby. That is a child that needs a babysitter.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
imagine
Yeah. Yeah. And I
that.
think it was probably there for shock value or whatever. Ugh, whatever. But it was, I gasped. I turned around and kept watching, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
consider me shocked. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
All right, let's switch gears now and talk about foods that we know can lower that risk of breast cancer. You mentioned a couple of them, allium vegetables in particular, but a diet that's really high in fruits and vegetables in general can really reduce that risk of breast cancer. So if you are pulling out your chef's prescription pad and you're saying,
Yes.
hey, this is what you want to put in your shopping cart, what are some of the other fruits and vegetables and whole grains that you want to reach for?
I am putting the rainbow in my shopping cart because the different colors indicate different antioxidants, different nutrients. It really is. We eat with our eyes first, so have a good time with it. I'm doing the dark leafy greens, the kale, the broccoli, the Swiss chard. Um, broccoli, sorry, cruciferous vegetables in particular. Um, there's a scientific kind of fun thing that happens when you cut them, and after about 45 minutes, sulforaphane is produced, which is a huge, huge, huge cancer fighter. So if you are really looking to up your body's cancer fighting abilities, I would say go for the cruciferous vegetables. And you've probably heard it from Dr. Michael Greger. He says hack and hold. I say stop and chop. What you want to do is take your broccoli when you bring it home from the grocery store or you steal it from your neighbor's garden, chop it up and let it sit for at least 45 minutes before you eat it if you are cooking it. Um, and there is no bell-shaped curve on that, by the way. You can chop it and then throw it in the refrigerator and eat it in 2 days or 3 days or whatever, if you're going to put it like in a stir fry. If you're going to eat it raw, don't worry about it. Chewing it is fine because it takes about 45 minutes to get to that stomach, and that sulforaphane will be made. Allium vegetables. So your onions, garlic, leeks, shallots, those are huge cancer fighters also. But that too is something where you want to chop and stop, hack and hold, cut it up, let it sit for about 15 minutes or so. Now, those guys do have a bell-shaped curve, and those cancer fighting properties start to wane after about 15 minutes. So if you are making a soup or whatever you have a recipe that has the allium vegetables in it, most do, chop them up in about 15 minutes. The cancer fighting properties have bloomed and you are good to go. Now, are you always going to do that? Do I always do it? Do we always think about it or have time for it? No. But these are just little things where you can get the biggest nutrition bang for your buck.
That's all really interesting, but I need to circle back to what it was that you said there at the beginning, or if you're stealing broccoli from your neighbor's garden. So,
Right.
Caryn Dugan, does that mean that you're cloaked in black in the dead of night, raiding your neighbor's garden, sneaking over the fence, and just helping yourself?
You're gonna have to talk to the local police about that.
Fresh is best. All right. That's
And
so
that's
good.
true also.
Yeah, amen for that. Okay. So I honestly did not know that about the chop and what was it? Hack and hold, chop and stop.
I say hack and hold. I think Gregor says chop or whatever it is. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. That's an interesting thing. I wonder if that would hold true for a lot of people have frozen broccoli in their freezers. Obviously, that's already pre-cut. I wonder if there have been studies done that would show whether
Yes.
or not that same effect holds true there
Yeah.
because it's
So
frozen.
actually, yes, and we get that question very often. The myrosinase, which is the cofactor that helps create the sulforaphane, is so when you flash freeze something, you pick it, you flash freeze it. And now the myrosinase, which is needed to create the sulforaphane, is gone. So there is no sulforaphane being made. Now, what you can do is what you want to do is add in another fresh, you want to add in myrosinase. So that's going to be in the form of a fresh or dried, whatever, another cruciferous vegetable. So what you can do is just add in a little bit of mustard powder, because mustard is a cruciferous vegetable. And if you have mustard powder in your kitchen, in your spice drawer, mustard powder is just mustard seeds which have been ground. So they still have the myrosinase cofactor in them. Add a little bit of the mustard powder to that frozen vegetable, that frozen broccoli, and sulforaphane will be made again.
Man, you went to school. It's
Yeah.
like you went back, you got yourself a master's in nutrition to add to that broadcast degree that you got.
Dude, I pay attention.
I know. I know. You're a much better student than I am. What about fruits and stuff? We, hear about these brightly colored fruits and vegetables and all of the antioxidants that they bring. The blueberry comes up a lot for anti-inflammatory properties, but are there particular fruits that you're familiar with that you like to use for their specific cancer-fighting properties?
I'll tell you what, I love pomegranate
Mm.
so much. And those arils or those seeds are so high in antioxidants. Um, I, I don't really always have the patience to go get a pomegranate and do all the things to get the clean seeds. So I go to Trader Joe's, and they now usually they used to only have it at Thanksgiving ish. But now year round, at least the few in St. Louis, you can buy cups of pomegranate seeds in the produce section. So go get those. They're fantastic. Put them on your oatmeal, eat them plain, maybe over some plant-based ice cream. But they're so fantastic. Maybe in a mocktail too. Yes, yes. By the way, the blueberries, the blackberries, the strawberries. I want you to eat all the berries. Get them all. Really diversify your plant intake, please, because that is, Will B is going to tell you, your bestie is going to tell you that's going to help with your gut microbiome, which is going to boost your immune system, which is going to help you, obviously, hopefully stay away from these cancers.
All right, well, let me ask you a cooking related question when it comes to fruits. What is the most versatile fruit that you like to include in your dishes? Is there one that just seems to pair with pretty much everything? Is it mango? Is it strawberry? Is it blackberry? Is it blueberry? Is it the humble banana? I don't know. What would you, and I know you said you love pomegranates, but I can't see that being like super versatile.
No, it's no. I would, you know what? I think I really love a good mango. You know why? Because you can that's a great dessert. It's a great just fruit to have around, cut it up, keep it in your refrigerator. But it's also great in Thai dishes. So you can cook it. So it goes sweet and savory. I think that probably is the most versatile. It's obviously you can make a juice out of it. It's great in a smoothie. Wow, now that I think about it, and I haven't really thought about this, but as I think about it, if you can use that morning, noon, and night, sweet and savory, both.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a big fan of the mango. I haven't mastered how to like peel it easily. It's a little bit, you peel it and it's just a little bit slimy. Is there a trick that you have when you're getting down to business with the mango in the kitchen?
Yeah, buy frozen.
Well played. That's why I love you. That's that practical advice you'll only get from Caryn Dugan. Outstanding. What about peaches, apples, pears, and grapes? I know that that's a group that Jim has also mentioned specifically in the blog that you all put up with your breast cancer episode.
Yeah, just yes.
Yes.
Yes for all that. Listen. I want you to eat what looks good and tastes good for you. I will tell you, I do not like a peach. You know why? Because I don't like to eat fur. I cannot stand it. It grosses me out. So I'm going to go for a nectarine, which is about the same thing without the fur.
Mm. It's interesting. I don't like. Okay, I got you. So
Yeah,
my wife is kind of the same way with the mango. It's like it's a texture thing for her, and it like skeeves her out. And
yeah,
she doesn't like oatmeal either, because it's just kind of got that slimy texture. But if you add something that's got like a little bit of crunch to it, whether you top it with some nuts or something like that,
yeah, yeah.
it's a lot better for her. So it's funny, like that mouthfeel and texture are so different for so many people. It's not the flavor, it's the mouthfeel. As a
Yeah, no,
chef, is that a challenge for you at
it,
all?
everything is a challenge these days because there's sensitivities, there's allergies, there's texture issues, and then again, there's just flavor. There's everybody has a different palate, right? So navigating that around is challenging, but I like a good challenge. And that's why it's so important to keep talking about eating the rainbow. It's okay, like if you don't like blackberries because you don't like the seeds, then don't eat blackberries, or maybe put it into a high speed blender, Blendtec, Vitamix, whatever, and see if you can ground those up. But if there's something out there that people keep, people are like acai, gotta have that for this. You gotta have blueberries for this. You gotta no. I mean, yes, the science is there, but if you really can't stomach something for whatever reason, it's then don't eat it. Like I'm not a proponent of saying you absolutely have to have this one type of food to do this one thing. No, that's not the story we have to, that's not the truth, and that's not the story. Like I want you to eat what what tastes good and excites you, and not the junk. We're talking about whole food, plant based. So stick in that lane, but pick and choose. I don't like everything. Hey, guess what? I hate raw broccoli. Gross. I hate it. I hate raw cauliflower. Like two things that are really freaking good for you. I'm not eating it. Guess what? I'm gonna steam it. That's how I'm gonna get it. You know, again, I don't like peaches. They're really good for you, but I'm not gonna eat it. I'm gonna have a nectarine. You gotta. Not everybody likes everything, so don't think that don't get so scared because you had cancer or you're fighting type 2 diabetes or hypertension or whatever that you have to have these certain foods. You don't have to have certain foods. We want to stick to whole food, plant-based, but thank goodness there's a lot of them, right?
Oh yeah. See, I can't stand onions. Like onions
Oh, I
to
remember
me,
this about you.
yeah,
Yes.
onions to me are like peaches to you, or raw broccoli or cauliflower. Like I cannot stand them cooked, raw, red, yellow, Vidalia. It does not matter one little bit. The onion is just a no go. Period. End of story. Hard stop in our kitchen. And I think that honestly, like my wife, her also hatred. That's a very strong word, but very accurate here of onions. That's what brought us together, Caryn. Our relationship was
Oh,
forged on the fire that is a distaste for the onion. All
you and
onions.
Jules came together over your hatred of the allium onion?
Yes, there are very few of us in this world, but let me tell you something. It was a magical day when I found somebody who dislikes onions as much as I do. I mean, it really, the angels were singing on high, my friend. No doubt about it. Um, but for you, have you tried a grilled peach? Now, that may singe off the fur that you don't like, and it will lock in the flavor. Have you tried that?
I will tell you, there has been somebody who has made me grilled peaches over dairy-free ice cream before, and it
Mm-hmm.
was very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not into grilling peaches.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
If
Yeah.
somebody's going to do it for me, if I'm going to go out to a restaurant, maybe I'll get it, but mm-mm. So that's just, again, like that's just my own personal thing, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's, and we like to say, Jim and I like to say often that this whole adding more plants to your plate thing is very simple to do, but it's not easy. I get it. Like it wasn't easy for me to do this, but it's a very simple concept, right? Putting something different on the end of your fork is a very simple thing to do, but because of uh, peers and pressures and lifestyle and if you're traveling a lot, it can be very, very difficult. It's not easy, but again, the concept is very simple. So you have to start slow. Most people have to start slow, and that's fine. You don't have to, let's say you don't have to do all one fell swoop. I did. Um, because again, the fear of losing my dad and then having cancer, and then also I don't have children, so I don't have to deal with that challenge. But but again, even with that kind of that easiness of doing it, it was still difficult because I have people around me who are like, I don't know about all this kale. I don't know if that's so healthy. Like, come on, really? But I had to learn the science. I had to do what a lot of people feel they have to do is they have to defend themselves, right?
Yeah.
You have to have this, like, you got to like fill up your phone with all kinds of papers and start defending yourself and pull up papers and pull up this and pull up that, all the science. It's like the one thing in life that you try to do by adding more plants to your plate, and all of a sudden you have to be an expert at it. Well, wait a minute. You're talking to me with pizza on the side of your face because you just ate a whole pie, but you're worried about me eating kale?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It's so funny. And, I mean, people are guilty of going into hyper defense on both sides. It's just like at some point we need to like forget all the studies and just agree that vegetables and fruits are healthier than a Big Mac. I don't think that that's up for debate. Like I just don't think that that's debatable at all. I mean, if the healthiest thing that you're eating is that little shred of lettuce on a burger that has been, just like fried to death, filled with grease, topped with cheese and like rich fatty sauces and like you're trying to tell me that that's healthier than a piece of kale? Like no. No, 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 no,
well,
no,
chocolate probably has more protein, which,
no.
I know. Did I just get you? Did I just
Yeah, a
get you?
little bit, a little bit, a little bit. In the words of Robert De Niro, a little bit,
A
a little
bit.
bit. Speaking of protein, there's a lot of protein in soy, and I don't feel like we can conclude a conversation
Oh,
about breast cancer
thank
without
you.
topping off with this. Because, I mean, honestly, well, there are two recipes that you do that I think are fantastic. One is your chickpea to-no salad, which is amazing, and I still have the magnet for it up on my fridge. Thank you. But two are these tofu nuggets
Uh,
that have like a peanut butter kind of a flavor to them. But I'm curious, like the research that you've seen, I'm sure is the same that I've seen. But first, what do you know about the link between soy and breast cancer?
I know that soy is highly protective. Thank goodness for Dr. Christy Funk and for her book. Please get it. It tells the complete story. But this is the type of soy that I want you to eat, please. Tofu, great. Yes, organic, please. Edamame, yum. That's a just a great snack, or you can put it into a meal. It's very versatile. Tempeh. Boy, you want to talk about protein for a second? 18 grams of protein per serving. Usually there's 3 servings in one 8-ounce pack. Wow. And that is just baby soybeans fermented together. So good for you. Natto, very good. I would also beg to say that even a soy milk is fine, but you want to make sure that it's only in that carton is only soybeans and water. You don't need all the other crap in there, okay? Crap-free soy milk, if you will. So those are the types of soy, the unprocessed or very minimally processed soy that is so highly protective. You want to stay away from things like soy protein isolate, those types of things. And I think that we're on the other side of the curve from this, I'd like to think. But for many years, um, press, or I guess marketing, did us no favors. Oh my gosh, there's too much soy in our diet. Soy is causing cancer. Soy this, soy that. Well, here's the thing. Soy is very easy and economical to grow and harvest. So, farmers are growing it, companies are harvesting it and putting it into food products, right? So your cookies and your candies and your muffin mixes and your cereals, and it's in there so that it's shelf stable, right? And you're just getting a highly processed form of that. No, get rid of that. Stick with those 4 or 5 types of soy that I just mentioned, and you will do yourself a big favor.
All right. And which is the easiest to cook with, would you say?
Well, if you don't want to cook at all, edamame is great. You can buy it frozen. I love, listen, I love cooking with tofu. I love it. And I understand that if you've never cooked with it before, that it can be a little intimidating. But thank goodness I have a lot of recipes to help you through that.
I'm saying, and you got a lot up on your website, plantbasedcenter.com, which, by the way, I think if you use the promo code Chuck, you get a 1 month for free, my friend,
You
which is
do.
very generous. Thank you.
Oh, well, you're very welcome. We have actually, it's a brand, it's a upgraded membership, and we have two tiers now, $15 and $30 a month. And yes, because I love you so much, you get a free month using the code Chuck.
That's awesome. What comes with the membership? Talk to us.
Yeah, so I'm so proud of this membership. I love it so much. I do a cooking class once a month with everybody, and I encourage everyone, all of our members, to cook along with me because I like to say, once class is done, dinner's on the table. And you've just gained kitchen confidence. You've cooked it all. We talk back and forth. I help you through the recipe. It's great. Jim is actually in on every cooking class as well, so you can talk with a plant-based doc. I also have a group support call once a month. I'm a certified health and wellness coach, and we talk about we cheers you, we challenge you, we talk about all kinds of things for an hour a month, and it's really nice to just get everybody together. I also offer every single class. So there's a library of over, let's see, almost 60 classes now. You get to stream any past class you want whenever you want. And then there's also the correlating downloadable recipes that you can print out, keep on your phone, do whatever you want. And then what's new for this membership now is that we have this new forum. It's almost like Facebook, but not Facebook, where we can get together whenever you want. And you can talk with other members, share recipes. I mean, you know how this forum works, right? It's pretty common, but it's just on our website. And I love it so much. Now, the one thing that diversifies our membership from a lot of others is that you get access to a plant-based doc. I mean, Jim Loomis, hello, at PCRM. Well, he's the medical director at PCRM. He's also the medical director for the Center for Plant-Based Living. And he's in every cooking class, and he comes into the group support call once a quarter as well. And we do this rapid fire ask the doc questions, which is so fun. But, it's very important to both Jim and I that everything we do is evidence-based. We don't do bro science. We don't do social media science. We don't do myth science. We don't do cool science. We do evidence-based science, which is why after each episode of The Doc and Chef, you can find an evidence-based blog post that Jim writes so you can dive deeper into whatever the topic is on that episode. It's incredibly important. Nobody has time to BS around, especially with their health.
No, 100%. I mean, health is paramount, but health can also be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the cool
Yes.
thing. It's like I think about what you said at the beginning is like you did not like to cook until you became a chef. Like
Yeah.
and look at you now. And so like you're in your element, you're having fun without fuzzy peaches, and you're just enjoying exactly what it is that you're doing. And I think that, as people become more comfortable themselves in the kitchen, they're going to feel like being in there more frequently. And then eventually, I think the most fun I have when I'm in the kitchen is when I'm building my bowl every day,
Oh,
whether,
yeah.
greens and grains. It's like, oh, well, this is going to benefit my body in this way. This is going to benefit my body in that way. And a whole bunch of these means I'm going to get a whole bunch of these benefits. And it's like really cool the way that I construct my meals these days to not just taste great. Obviously, that's super important. But then also, what's the payoff on the back end as well? And like, I just love that, and how you guys are able to translate that from evidence-based studies onto somebody's plate, and what you're doing with the Doc and Chef, I think is just phenomenal, Caryn Dugan. Just love it.
Well, thank you, Chuck Carroll.
You're welcome.
I thank you. I mean, and I love that you've been there since the beginning, and you're still hanging on with us. And it's the movement, the Doc and Chef movement is growing. And I'm grateful for all of the opportunities here. And I do want to say one more thing that, yes, I am a plant-based chef now, because it's part of the business model. but you don't have to become a chef. You don't have to become a cook, and I don't do gourmet. Like, that's not my jam. If I want gourmet, I'm going to make reservations, okay? I like to do really approachable, fun food. And it's about also building kitchen confidence. So getting into your own kitchen and opening up the spice drawer, the refrigerator, whatever, just see what works. It doesn't have to be great all the time. Oh my God, as I said in the beginning, I totally sucked. It was so bad. But little by little, just have a little bit of confidence in yourself and keep going. Watch, go to YouTube, go to our membership, go to, PCRM has wonderful recipes. Just start small, start with one recipe a day, one recipe a week, and build on that. And even every time you go to the grocery store, buy one different fruit, just one, and just see how, you can just very slowly, baby steps.
Including fuzzy peaches.
Oh,
Find what works for you. That's also the fun thing is kind of exploring, right? It's like the typical person eats so few fruits and vegetables that they really don't know what they do and don't like. There's a whole new world out there to explore, and you would be shocked at how good these things taste. Here's the thing. 150 recipes right now in the library for your membership at the Plant-Based Center. And so 150 and growing, including, I'm hoping, the tofu nuggets that we were talking about and the chickpea salad, I think would do a world of good. So again, 1 month free. Use the promo code Chuck. We'll include all of that in case you can't remember that in the episode notes. But Caryn Dugan from The Doc and Chef, love you to death. Thank you for being vulnerable with us and talking about your own cancer journey, and then inspiring us and educating us, making us feel a little bit better about things and getting into the kitchen and the kitchen comfortability and, chopping it up about breast cancer today. You are just a true gem among gems, my friend.
I love you beyond words, and thank you for what you do. You are priceless.
Oh, thank you, man. That's why I love her so much. All right, checks in the mail. Thanks, Caryn. This has been the NHA Today podcast. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us on the NHA Today podcast. Subscribe and follow the National Health Association on YouTube and social media for the latest in plant-based science and healthy lifestyle support. For more resources, articles, and information about our membership and conference, visit healthscience.org. Until next time, here's to your plant-powered health.